Well, hello, everybody. It is the Dennis and Andy Show with your weekly movie review that we do just for you. This week, last night, we saw Ordinary Angel starring Alan Ritchson and Hilary Swank. Alan, of course, is Reacher. Hilary Swank, two-time Oscar-winning actress. Dennis, do you remember where she got her start?
Hilary Swank?
Yeah, I meant to ask you this actually last night, but I forgot.
What was her first one?
Not
I remember
movie.
some of her big ones, but I don't know what her first one was.
Well, not movie. I
Oh,
believe I believe her start, and I could be wrong, so people, you can fact check me, comments. I believe her start was Melrose Place.
wow. That was something I very occasionally watch. So, nope, wouldn't have remembered
Oh,
that.
really?
Yep.
Oh, we were the same age. I thought, did you watch 90210?
Yeah, once in a while, but not Melrose Place was less often. So, interesting.
Oh, yeah, I watched 90210 from the beginning to the end, and same with Melrose Place. With friends, actually, at the Kubert School, we'd watch it. Yeah, she got her start there. So you don't see many people like that get their start in a show like that, and nothing against those shows, but then blow up to be such a great actress. Another one, tangent, like I do, Bradley Cooper, first season of Alias. He gets bumped off. He's Jennifer Garner's boyfriend in Alias, and you're like, oh, I like that guy. Oh well. And now look at him. Dude's like
Yeah.
super hot, and I don't mean looks wise, even though he's a fine looking gentleman. If I was, a man that liked men, he'd be on my list, but I'm not.
Well, this movie, I'm glad we went and saw it because Hilary Swank really brought something to it. But this movie is based on a remarkable true story. Ordinary Angel centers on Sharon Steves, played by Hilary Swank. She's a fierce but struggling hairdresser in small town Kentucky who discovers a renewed sense of purpose when she meets Ed Schmitt, played by Alan Ritchson. He's a widower, working hard to make ends meet for his two daughters, with his youngest daughter waiting for a liver transplant. Sharon sets her mind to helping the family and will move mountains to do it. What unfolds is the inspiring tale of faith, everyday miracles, and ordinary angels. This, of course, is a Lionsgate. This is one of their faith movies, but it
Well,
is those of
it's
you who
Angel Angel Studios though, isn't it?
Lionsgate was the one that put it out.
Right. But
But yeah,
Angels,
yep.
right?
And the difference is this one was not like heavy faith based like some of the earlier ones. So for those of you right out of the gate wondering, I'm not sure about those type. This is very light on it because it's a true life story. It's incredibly well done. But yeah, let's. Why don't you talk about our boy
Well,
Ed Schmidt?
yeah, I mean, Alan Ritchson, I remember I heard an interview with one of the producers last week on Hollywood and Toto. I think it was last week. Christian Toto's fantastic podcast, and he has a great website. So, um, and it's funny when they cast Alan Ritchson for it, they weren't quite sure if he could bring the emotional level to it because let's be honest, he's known for Reacher, 2 seasons of Reacher. He was Aquaman in Smallville. He's of course done other things, but it's always generally tough guy stuff. And I got to tell you, I think he's a big dude, obviously. Um, I don't know if it was intentional or not, but when they dressed him wardrobe wise, he was wearing more baggy stuff. And I think that might have been intentional. I know this is a small detail. I think it might have been intentional because, you put baggy clothes on a big guy like that, and it does take down the size some, because you don't want him wearing muscle shirts and stuff, because then you're just like, what the? But he did. He grew a mustache, facial hair. His hair was kind of messy. He's a roofer. And he really brought such an emotional depth to this movie. And, like Dennis said, and it's a true story. So we're not doing our non-spoiler spoiler. We're just doing an overall. The movie starts off and with the birth of the youngest daughter, the 5-year-old that needs a liver transplant. and they're in the hospital. His wife is played by Amy Acker, which surprised me because it was such a small role for an actress like that. I like how they did the opening where the child is born. They're looking at her, naming her, and then you hear from behind off screen a nurse say, "Mr. Schmitt, Mr. Schmitt." And he turns and looks, you see the nurse, and then you turn back, and now it's 5 years later. He's at his wife's bedside who is dying. And the nurse basically says, she doesn't have much time. And I mean, there were so many great, impactful, emotional scenes and so much uh, great, like, character movements, as in the movie takes place over basically the course of a year. And what I mean is you see Alan go through these different emotions, and the way he handles the different things that are thrown at him in the course of the movie. Um, I just thought he did just a phenomenal job. I'll make jokes like everybody does about, oh, acting, bunch of dummies that just have to memorize lines. And yeah, sure. Are there actors like that are just like attractive people, but it's called book a look. Oh, this guy looks great. Screw it. Who cares? He just has to read lines. Having done a little acting myself, it is definitely a lot harder than just memorizing lines. So my hat is off to him. Um, you
Yeah, I
know,
was gonna say Alan, his range was on full display, and hats off to all the actors and actresses. Um, he played Thad Castle in Blue Mountain State. It was a comedic role, so he had some comedic chops. I do remember him as Aquaman, Arthur Curry from Smallville, and he's got this range. But we know him as Reacher, and so he is so good with that, a man of few words, and he's really playing a character that's very much like that in this. He's a great father. He's loving, he's caring. He doesn't say a lot, but when he puts his foot down, he kind of puts his foot down. But then you got to contrast that with Hilary Swank, who I don't take no for an answer kind of girl. And she brings a whole different type of energy as she's dealing with her own demons and her own screwed up relationship with her son. And we get her history and how the two kind of mesh together. Um, this entire movie works. I thought it was going to be okay. I did want to see it in the theater. This is not an IMAX type of movie, but I was hoping it was going to be well acted, based on a true story, would have pull on a few heartstrings or something. Yeah, it did far more than that. This movie surpassed everything. The two girls were absolutely fantastic. The daughters, I love. They were both adorable. Nancy Travis as the mother. God, I love Nancy Travis.
yeah,
We do not see enough of her on the screen. And his wife, for the little bit she's at the beginning and at the end, Amy, she another one. I just adored all of their scenes together. They set up everything in this movie. Wildcats fan, and even the little motion. They establish things at the beginning, and there's payoff on everything later on. This movie
yeah,
was well crafted. It was well paced. The scenes where they're bringing the community together to try to get her to save the girl's life in this giant blizzard that winds up happening in '94. This is fantastic. I mean, I was surprised at how much I truly enjoyed this film. It far exceeded all of my expectations.
yeah. And they, of course, I'm sure there was stuff put in for dramatic effect, but one of the things I liked was, at the end of the movie, they do the stuff on screen where they show text and a photo of the real people. Obviously, the girl survives, and it's not a spoiler. I doubt they would do this true story of this.
If she would.
And I never heard this story before, but I seriously doubt they would have done it if the girl didn't survive, because honestly, that's probably more common than not when the person doesn't survive. but with everything that was thrown at this guy in the movie, you kind of knew that was going to happen. One of the things for dramatic effect that they did, and you realize this when you're watching some of the real life footage at the end of the movie, they needed a helicopter for transportation. And once again, it was this freak blizzard, and that happens to be the day he gets the phone call saying, "We've got the liver. You've got 6 hours to get her to the hospital that they have to fly to." So they need a helicopter. Well, the point I was getting to is in the movie, for dramatic effect, it was nighttime when the helicopter was coming, and all the townspeople came out to shovel this parking lot at this church so the helicopter could land, so on and so forth. But in real life, you see that was actually during the day. So yes, dramatic effect, make it nighttime. It's more dramatic that way. But the fact that there was real footage they showed of all these people shoveling and the helicopter hovering above, waiting so it could land, just really was even that much more impactful at the end of the movie, seeing that real footage. And then of course, they throw in that the father and the woman that was helping out became obviously lifelong friends, still friends to this day. He got to walk his daughter down the aisle in 2017 or 2018, something like that. She graduates college in 2014. So it is a nice feel good story, but it was such an emotional and really like roller coaster of a film, and just done so well. It's from the same company as Sound of Freedom, and another great movie, true story, just done so well. I really enjoy movies like that, and even though this isn't something you need to see on the big screen, um, I think it's just more impactful seeing it that way. So that's I think our 2 cents. I think we can rate it now.
Yeah. Go ahead. I think it's your turn.
Okay. And real quick, Hilary Swank, I thought was our age. She's 4 years, or no, she is, yeah, she's 4 years younger than us. She was born in 74. And I thought
Nice.
she was our age. So she is Dan Fraga's age. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a strong 8.5. I really like films like this. Uh, I'm sure 30 years ago I would have been like, but I don't care about this movie. Give me some action and guns. But as I get older and finally mature, so yeah, I'm giving it an 8.5. I thought the performances were great. I thought the filming was great, and the story was just great. So
This is not my normal cup of tea, but I'm glad I saw it. I'm giving this a 9.0. This had so many emotions. There were times we're out laughing. There's times where if you didn't have a tear in your eye for some of this, you're a robot. And there was emotions like anger and then happiness throughout all of this, and you were on a roller coaster and you cared about all the characters, literally every character, and you could see their point of view. The dialogue was strong, the acting was fantastic. High mark, because maybe it was just because it so surpassed my expectations. Yep, this is great, guys. Go see it. 9.0. This is I really wish everybody would see this in the theaters, because this is the kind of movie that needs our support.
yeah, and let me tell you too, some critics are giving it, kind of bashing it because, oh my God, they were just slapping you over the head with the religious faith stuff. They didn't. If you read
No.
that, they're full of crap. Were there scenes in it like the mother, Nancy Travis, would say stuff to the son, her son, about have faith and stuff like that? Yes, there was. There's lots of people like that. There's nothing wrong with it. That's her character. It wasn't slapping you over the head in every freaking scene. I cannot
Yeah,
stand
anybody
reviews
who
that say
says
that.
that didn't actually watch the movie.
Yeah, they didn't watch it. So,
No.
all
So,
right, what are we
guys,
looking at
let's
on?
just see. IMDb is a 7.9
Mhm.
average. So that's about right for IMDb. And Rotten Tomatoes, the critics are giving it an 84, so pretty high marks from the critics. The audience, a 99. Has one of the
Wow.
highest audience scores I've seen in a while. So congrats, guys. I'm kind of up there. If you kind of put it in the middle there, we're Andy and I are kind of right there.
Yeah, this studio puts out really good films that
And
are
it's great
along this
for the
nature.
family.
True story type stuff. So another great thing that you'd get a 99, probably 100 actually, Kor-Drath the Awakening. What's that, guys? It is the exciting follow-up to Kor-Drath the Reckoning. This is the sign-up page. Campaign will be going live in a little over a month. If you sign up and back the book, you'll get this lovely Adriana trading card drawn by me, colored by Kelsey Shannon. Uh, of course, I've already got the main cover, which you see a snippet of on the page. Here's the full cover for it. It is finished. The homage cover, of course, we always do those. Finished. The parody ad is too, even though you'll have to wait for the campaign to see that. So, guys, go sign up. You definitely want to be a part of this. If you did not get number one, you can go to Kor-Drath.com and pick it up now, or it will be available during this campaign. And of course, Nice and Tight, comic book pencil art of Andy Smith. That's me, an oversized book featuring some of my favorite fully penciled pages, not your traditional art book, because this book shows storytelling pages just in full pencils, ready for other guys to ink. And pretty much if you were the inker or the editor, those are the only people that saw this art. Now you can too. This campaign will come down in the next few weeks so I can get it to the printer and ship it in May. And, we can launch Kor-Drath. So, guys, go check this out. It's digital. There's a sketchbook. I'm bringing back 64 pages, adding 20 new pages of material for 84, but the same cost. This is in the description below. So go check that out, too. And we will be back next Wednesday at 3 p.m. as always, talking comics and other stuff. Maybe we'll have a guest. You'll just have to wait and see. But until then, thank you for joining us. Like, subscribe, and share. And have a great weekend, everybody.
Live long and prosper.
Nice and Tight, the comic book pencil art of Andy Smith. That's me. This book features 52 pages of some of my favorite full pencils that I did for other companies over the past 2 decades. The raw pencils as they were seen by the inker, and now you can see them for the first time. This book also comes in a digital format so you can practice your inking in your favorite program.